Why are Denver home prices rising so fast this year? That's a question I'm getting all the time, and it has been an insane real estate market for Denver. And for me as a real estate stats geek, we're seeing numbers we've never seen before that I never ever thought was possible. Like from June 2020 to June 2021, the average home sales price rose by 31%. or $170,000. That's more than nearly everyone makes in a year. Even the median sales price of a home went up $120,000 in the last 12 months, or 26%. And so we're going to cover in this video why are prices rising at such insane levels so fast. And what I want to do is we're going to go back and just look at Economics 101. I always loved economics in college, still do. It's Economics 101, the law of supply and demand. And right now, supply has plummeted. Of where last year in the summertime, we had about 5,600 homes for sale, which, just so you know, was a record low back then at 5,600. Normal market should be about 15,000 homes for sale. June of 2021, we ended the month with only 2,600 homes for sale, down over 52% from last year. That is just unheard of to see a statistic change by over 50% in just 1 year's time. And so people are asking, well, why has supply dropped so much? Well, there's several reasons. One, of course, was COVID, especially early on, where people were afraid to let strangers or anyone else into their home. The second reason, and this has been ongoing for years, is people know they can sell their home in one weekend, but can they buy their new home that quickly? Will they find their new home that fast? And they're deathly afraid they're going to be homeless. So with that fear, thousands upon thousands of people have never listed their homes for sale. A third thing that is happening that's very closely related to it is they go, I don't think we can buy a better home right now, or a home in a better neighborhood, because the market is so insane. So once again, these homeowners are just staying put in their homes. The average time on a home now here in Denver is over 10 years. Back in the late 90s, it was about 6. So people are staying put, so we have less and less supply of homes for sale. Now, if you're a stats geek like me, or an economics geek like me, please like and subscribe to this page, because I'm going to give you some of that on a weekly basis, or bi-weekly basis at least, because it's part of my heart and passion, as I love stats and I love economics. Now let's look at demand. We know supply has dropped by 52%. What has happened to demand this year? Well, the average amount of showings, which means the average amount of buyers looking at a home this spring, doubled. So you have supply dropping by 50% and demand increasing by 100%. And so that's been a recipe for insanity of why prices have risen so much. And so what I want to look at now is what's causing all this demand for housing here in Denver. And so there's going to be 3 things I want to talk about. First one is just simply, I've defined it as the word space. Of where for the last year plus, everyone's looking for a home with more space. More space inside their home, but also more space outside their home. And even my wife and I, back in May of last year, we started feeling that way after 60 days of being locked up in our house 24/7, 7 days a week. And we live in an upper scale neighborhood in South Jefferson County. And I was like, honey, I'm tired of looking out every window of our house and seeing another house. Or we go out on our patio, which is my favorite room in the house, and we can see 8 other homes from our patio. And we have nearly a 9,000 square foot lot. And I'm thinking to myself, if I'm feeling this way with, quote, a bigger lot, what are other people feeling? Especially those of you who may be in an apartment or a condo. okay, or a small house in Denver that's on a really small lot. A lot of times the lots in Denver are now down to 3,000 square feet. You know, what's that doing to you? So what ended up happening, my wife and I, we went up to Estes Park several times last year for weekend trips. Estes Park has always been our favorite mountain town. And so we started looking at homes up there. And I told my wife, okay, honey, it's never gonna get cheaper to buy real estate in Estes Park, and the mortgage rates are never gonna get any lower because they were in the mid twos back then. And I said, now's the time for us to buy, and we did. We bought a home that's on about 2/3 of an acre, and we only can see 2 homes from our house. Let me share another story with you. When my wife and I bought our first home back in 2000, back when rates were over 8%, imagine that. We ended up, our first home we bought, we decided we really couldn't afford a single family home. It was just too expensive back then. They were about $200,000. And so we ended up bought a condo instead. And so I encourage you, you know, if you can't afford that single family home right now, to at least buy a condo or a townhouse to let the magic of appreciation work for you. Because I bet in 2, 3, 4 years, you'll have enough equity in that home to go buy what you really want. A lot of times buying real estate is steps. One, you know, first step as a first-time home buyer, then your first repeat home, your second home, then your third home, then your fourth home. It's steps, but get started. Don't wait any longer. You need to buy a home and let the magic of appreciation work for you. And if you like what you're hearing, please feel free to share it. Please subscribe. Please like this page. And as I said earlier, please ask questions and make comments.